Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
Hmm.
Mm.
Hmm.
Mm.
Hmm.
Mm.
Hmm. Hmm.
Mm. Ah, yeah. Ah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mm. Okay. Thanks for tuning in, everyone. We'll see you next time. That might be the
That
funniest
last one
intro
got me.
ever. Yeah. I was just thinking, we've done this for, I don't know, maybe it's time to actually do a count. I think it's important that we recognize that we've now done this for over 2 years. I think it's been over 2 years at this point.
I didn't think we quite hit the 2-year mark yet, but it was
Let's
around
find
this
out.
time that we started it, so we got to be coming close. I think it was a little deeper into the winter. I want to say maybe December.
Maybe. What I was going to say is that I want to give a little shout out to myself for never having messed up the go live situation.
Right.
Like, we've
so
never
the end and you realize you
recorded.
never hit it.
Right. We have never we've never missed one.
Congrats, buddy. I like
you.
I like how you started it by shouting yourself out.
105? Is that right? I guess so.
We overlooked our 100 episode anniversary.
Well, which one was it? 1, 2, 3, 4. It was the well, no, that's today. Whatever. The first one was October 27th, so it has been 2 years. And we also missed a 2-year anniversary show.
October 27th.
Might have been the same day.
Yeah, it might have been. That's pretty fucking good, man. So it's not only is it a lot of shows, but like we hit a pretty high batting average for potential plate appearances and actual plate appearances, right? Like how many Wednesdays and Fridays were there between in 2 years? So what is that? 108? No, that can't be right.
106.
106?
104.
Something like
Right?
that. I don't know. I just did 52. Yeah.
How many weeks are in a year? 52?
52. Yeah. I don't think that's actually
times 2. Oh, no, it's 52 times 2. Right? 2 days a week.
Right.
Times 2.
Right.
2 years.
So 50%. Yeah. Pretty good. By our first calculations, we exceeded somehow the available. We did more podcasts than there were Wednesdays and Fridays.
Yeah, we were there at one point. We were doing it like
butter and honey.
Nice.
Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, I was saying at one point we were doing it like every other day.
Yeah,
27th, 31st. We did one on the 7th, the 9th, the 12th, the 4th. This is November. This is right when we started. We were doing one every other day. November 7th, 9th, 12th, 14th, 16th, 18th, 20th, 27th, and 28th.
Back to back.
Back to back. That must have had a lot of Thanksgiving to catch up on.
Well, I think that you'll see the biggest surge was around hockey. Once that got into the picture.
Oh, yeah.
We got much more disciplined.
I think that's when I don't have the, oh yeah, I do have the durations here. We were pretty good at like keeping it right around 1 hour.
Yeah.
And then I wonder if there's a way I can search by the duration. I don't think there's an easy way to do that. Let's see some hockey ones here.
As someone who likes watching Steelers post game, but doesn't live in Pittsburgh, there's really not much out there. So if we wanted to turn into a pure Steelers reaction show, I think there's a market there.
Okay. And go off of information, no other information other than us having watched the broadcast
Yeah.
of the game, or if they didn't play in our market on TV, just assuming what happened. I think there's something there.
They Post-Gazette, they have a post-game show with Joe Starkey and Ray Fittipaldo. I don't know if that's really who it was, but those names sound vaguely right.
Right.
And in the middle of Joe Starkey talking about how he wasn't able to watch the Jake Paul-Mike Tyson fight because of Netflix issues, his computer crashed and he had trouble rejoining his own show. Came back on and then said, so anyway, to close that thought, Netflix has got to get that figured out, without seeing the irony. And the whole time, because Starkey wasn't wearing headphones, you could hear what the other guy was saying twice. And I was thinking, like, and that was the only thing I could find of, like, I just love watching Pittsburgh people overreact to stuff and get all worked out. It's so much fun.
Especially the Steelers.
Yeah, especially the Steelers. So I was looking for it, and there's nothing out there. I mean, because you've got King Pomp in Pittsburgh, right? King Pomp rules the land. He's got nightly sports talk radio or whatever that show is called that my dad watches religiously. So yeah, there's no need. I don't know. I just feel like, how is that possible, right? It's got the biggest fan base across the country. Very few of them are in Pittsburgh.
Yeah, it's I wonder the people who are fans. I'm sure there's a big number of people who are fans of the Steelers that never were from Pittsburgh or had family from Pittsburgh. They just were in, I don't know, Utah, and the Steelers were good in the early 2000s. And so now
or because their dad was a fan of Steelers because he was, they were huge in the 70s.
And maybe that dad never lived in Pittsburgh or ever spent any time in Pittsburgh. I don't know. So, like, are you interested in the nuance of the Pittsburgh mindset and overreaction? I wonder if it's lost on you a little. It has to be. I mean, there's no way it's not.
Yeah, I mean,
make it a little more serious.
Just chalk it up to overreact, like passionate fans, or the nuance. That's the perfect way to say it. I mean, they certainly can see that these people are way too worked up about something, but there's no way they would understand.
Or at the same time, if you live in, I don't know, Indiana, Southern Indiana, you're not a Colts fan, you're a Steelers fan for some reason, and you're taking the time to seek out Steelers debriefs after games on the internet, you're probably you're a Pittsburgher at heart. Let's be honest. You probably do the overreaction thing yourself a little bit.
But they'll never be able to fully appreciate it.
They don't know. They are naive to the overreaction. But they do it. They're part of it. They just don't know.
They're part of it. Yeah. Yeah. Now, my mind got. I'll let you follow my train of thought as to why I brought that up. After the game, I was going to text you and say, and then I figured I'd just wait to tell you today. If the Steelers go to the Super Bowl, I think we should go. Big financial commitment. But maybe I think we should discuss going. We should look into it to see if it would be a worthwhile, like if it would be as fun as the money it would take to go.
Here's my counter. I don't think that's a bad idea. I think whenever they play in the Super Bowl or maybe even a playoff game, we don't even fucking need the Super Bowl. We need to get together and watch together in person.
So so same page club there.
Yeah.
And then I was thinking, like, well, how cool would it be if you can get press credentials now for very little.
We can do it here's our 2-year anniversary stream. Obviously, we're
I don't
We
think the
meet the
Steelers would let
criteria.
us in the locker room based on this, but and then I was like, well,
Probably not.
what could we do with that opportunity, right? Like, is there and how? Like, there's no way we could even execute on it because what are we gonna go to the Thursday night Browns Steelers
Yeah,
game
right.
that ends at midnight and then get back home and go to our highly demanding jobs?
Yeah. I do think there is an opportunity that if the Steelers maybe we make this commitment. If the Steelers make the playoffs or the Super Bowl, we go back to Pittsburgh and we can figure it
For a
out
game.
there. We can do some man on the street shit.
I would
Go
love
down
that.
to the strip district and we'll film you talking to people.
I would love that. Actually, there's a big controversy. I'm like very dialed into the Steeler community on Twitter. There's a big controversy because the parking lot, uh, there's a big tailgate called the Terrible Tailgate. A guy who runs it, name is Kevin Adams. Like that's where Antonio Brown and Le'Veon Bell were like signing things and wearing their MAGA
Okay.
hats and stuff right before the election. So apparently they weren't allowed to park in the Alco parking lot anymore, where they've been since time immemorial. And I don't know. It sounded like it was politically motivated, and I think he was actually on the news. This guy, because he posted it on Twitter that I'm going to be on. I'll be on, guys. Don't worry, I'm sorting out this parking thing. Whatever happens, tailgate will go on. I've already talked to the lots, and I'll be on the news. WPXI tonight at 7. That would be a fun thing to dig into. The parking
Right.
lot, the politics behind the tailgate.
All of the entire universe of stuff that goes on outside of an actual Steelers game and the
So
drama.
you're right. The Super Bowl isn't really that much fun. The dream would be the AFC Championship game, right?
Yeah,
AFC
especially if it's in
Championship game.
Pittsburgh.
That's if it's in Pittsburgh, which it looks like if they make it there, there's a more likely chance than not that it would be, or I guess a
Yeah.
reasonable chance. So let's dissect that game yesterday. What'd you see?
I turned it on. I'm trying to think. I think I missed the right after Boswell. I turned it on right when Justin
Steelers were the
Tucker
team
missed.
wearing the black jerseys.
Yes, it took me a quarter or so to get that nailed down. But I recognized that they were the ones wearing the black jerseys, not the black pants.
Yep.
They both had black helmets on, which I was stuck on for
Should be
a
illegal.
few drives.
That's right. It's too confusing.
White numbers. I mean, come on. Well, no, they didn't have white number. Anyway.
Yeah.
I turned it on right after Justin Tucker missed his first field goal.
Yeah, what's going on with him? Is that apparently
is he been bad all year, or is it just
I think he's missed 5 field goals. Yeah, so
that's a lot for that. I mean, the guy is a fucking savant. Field goal. He's like one of the best of all time.
Actually, I think one of the best of all time was on the other team.
Dude.
Really might be one of the best kickers ever.
And then he kicked 6 in a row.
For the second time this season, which has never been done before.
The guy is he's the best kicker I'm sorry.
So he's kicking 6 field goals in a game. The record is 2, twice in your career in a regular season game. Boswell's done it twice this season and 4 times in his career, which is 2 more than anyone else. Isn't that nuts?
He's great, man. And it's easy to discount how good a good kicker can make your football team. But when your quarterback is, year 12 Russell Wilson, and you have one wide receiver, it's like, all right, yeah, we're gonna gain some yards.
I jotted down some Boswell facts for us today. By the way, did you know? I heard Jason Kelsey recently on the New Heights podcast, which is one of those podcasts that I don't want to like, but I do. It's pretty good. You never listen to those two?
Hang on.
Yeah.
I don't know what. Okay.
Either way.
The fucking StreamYard testing is not playing in my. I'm waiting for it to end. I can't turn it off.
It's not a bad thing. I enjoy that test song tremendously.
Kelsey and Presley, shout out. Okay. All right. I think we're done. Thank you. So you were saying there's a podcast you don't like, but you do like?
No, I do like, but I don't want to like it. The New Heights with Jason and Travis Kelce.
I've never listened. I've seen clips, and they seem fine. Like it's not. Why don't you want to like it? Because you don't like Travis Kelce? Because you don't like Taylor Swift?
No, I do. I don't want to be grouped in with the audience of the people that I imagine really enjoy that podcast. You know? But it's very enjoyable. So maybe those are my people, and I should just embrace it. Anyway, here's some Boswell factoids for you. Never missed a field goal in the postseason. 17 attempts. His long field goal for the last 5 seasons, 59, 56, 59, 57, and 57. 28 of 34 from 50 plus in his career.
Playing half your games in Pittsburgh.
Take out 2 playing half your games in Pittsburgh, where Justin Tucker complained about the field conditions yesterday, by the way. He said they weren't ideal.
That's the thing about him.
And the guy across from you was 6 for 6.
Did he complain about that before or after he missed
Which did you
all
think?
of his field goals? Yeah, right. Exactly. Justin, shut up.
If you take out attempts from like 60 plus or just Hail Mary sort of field goals, then he's 28 of 30 from 50 plus.
From 50 to 59, 28 of 30.
Yeah, from 50 to 59 is a better way to
As
say
a Steeler. He played somewhere else before the Steelers signed him, right? Or did they draft him or sign him?
He was not expected to be. I think he was an undrafted free agent. Wasn't expected.
He went to Rice. Special. Something popped up on my TikTok feed or Instagram feed yesterday about it was a Rice college. I don't know who they were playing. It was an onside kick. And they said, "Oh, and it kind of looked new, right? All the hang on. I needed to. There we go. All this HD video looks fairly new, right? It's hard to date what you're watching.
It's hard to carbon date those videos sometimes.
It's either HD or before HD.
Right.
And so anyway, it was an onside kick, and the announcer's like, and Boswell. And I'm like, oh, I wonder if that's his brother or something or whatever. And it's like, no, this is him in college. And he did this Rabona kick. Do you know what a Rabona is?
What?
It's a soccer term where you'll step up to the ball like you're gonna kick it with one leg, but then you wrap your other leg around it.
Yeah.
And he did that in college, and they pulled it off. It was awesome. And everyone's like, no, that's him in college. He went to Rice. Yeah. Literally yesterday. It was like an amazing onside kick.
That's cool.
Yeah. From Francesco Rabona from AC Milan.
You're making
1981.
Are you being serious?
Francesco della Rabona.
Okay. You're not being serious.
From the Basque region.
Pretty credible backstory.
Yeah, that's all you got to do.
Me.
A Spanish or an Italian name. That's all you got to do.
Dude, the ESPN player landing page is one of the most poorly designed internet sites. Right? So I want to see his career stats. Where do I find those?
I know.
I'm sorry, projected?
No, there's a stats on the header. It's on the top. You got to select it. It's the third one in. I know. You're right. I agree. Football, the reference websites, the baseball reference, and I don't even know if football has one. I assume they do. Yahoo. They are the best. Yahoo? I like the reference websites.
Oh, totally. Baseball reference, hockey reference, football reference. I agree. For when you're looking for stats, when you're looking for. So what app do you use to follow games? Because we've talked about this before. I like almost enjoy following through the app more than I do watching it sometimes.
I don't follow through the app unless I really want to know it. I think the one time I did it we were in the car and it was the Steelers' first game of the year a few years ago, and I just cared at that
Let
point.
me
And so I
introduce you
would
to Yahoo
refresh
Sports.
ESPN. Okay, please.
Yahoo Sports app. I've been using it since it was called Sportacular. It was one of the first apps I ever downloaded on an iPhone. It's perfect.
Hard to believe the
Perfect.
Sportacular name didn't stick
Yeah.
through the merger.
It's funny. Allison and I were trying to find a good app to like track our investments in a place that wasn't a Google Sheet. You know, like there's got to be an app, which there are, but they're all bad. I don't know. Do you have one? Do you know about a good one?
No, I used Mint at one point, but that was more of a
Same. So did
budgeting.
we. We loved it, but it's no
Yeah.
longer. It's part of
Oh,
Credit
really?
Karma now. Yeah.
Okay.
So now we're out here in the wind with our asses exposed, trying to tally up our net worth like a couple of street rats in a Google sheet. Anyway, that I was looking for an app yesterday, and I found one called Personal Capital. But in all the reviews and all the description, it still refers to it as Budgetify. It was like Budgetify, such a early app name. What was it?
When it comes to
Sportacular?
when it comes to stuff like that I really want to track, I get enjoyment out of actually building my own tracking system.
Same.
Google
I
Sheet.
get that, but to try to get a 401k to update automatically from a Google Sheet,
Yeah, that you can't do
you're not
that.
going to do it.
Your
You know what
best,
I mean?
honestly, your best bet is just to have all of your shit in the same place, like Fidelity or
That's exactly what I
wherever it
suggested
is.
yesterday. I was like, why are we doing this? Let's combine our accounts, right? That's the easiest way. But I don't want her to steal all my money, Rich. So
Well, yep.
actually,
then
she probably doesn't
we don't
want
have to
me stealing all her
combine.
money. She's been at Amazon so long now; she's about to surpass me. Okay, so
Good for
Yahoo
both of you,
Sports.
anyway.
Yeah. So I don't know if this is going to come through right, but what? Your mic. We got a Joe Starkey moment here. It's more fun when your mic isn't on and I can see you cursing and getting upset. Rich is gone. I'm trying to figure out how to mirror my screen. So I could probably do it like this. I can probably do.
Yeah. Can you hear me?
Tell me if this. Yeah, but it sounds like dog shit.
I don't know what the fuck I have to do to keep my microphone in like connected to this. It's ridiculous.
Can you see
Pro
my phone on the screen?
Yes.
Are you seeing my iPhone?
Yes.
Okay, so can I introduce you to this app?
Yes.
Or you're still angry and figuring things out?
Can you hear
I don't know
me?
if I want to introduce you when you're in this kind of a mood.
Can you hear me or not?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay. Is it bad or is it good? Like, give me a little.
You want some feedback?
Give me a little. Yeah, I need some feedback.
You want me to be honest with you?
Low or high? What?
It's not great. It's not your best. It just sounds like it's not coming through your mic.
It's not. It's coming through my computer, and I can either do that or I can use my.
Now it
headphones.
sounds
Let me
better.
change to that. I mean, I moved it closer. Maybe that's just all I got to do.
By the way, I got my connector, and I'm now enjoying. Look at this. Look at this guy. Can you see me? What I'm doing?
There you go.
Leaning back. Huh?
Yeah.
Pretty nice.
Welcome to the see. And all you got to do is just not even like have your Yeti microphone not fucking connect to your computer randomly, and then you can sit wherever you want. It's so stupid. I don't understand why this is happening. You know, I downloaded one thing to try to change the audio for this, and ever since I did that, this happens now every once in a while. I don't know. I can't recreate it. I don't know
Well,
how to do it. Anyway,
would it be fair to say you flew a little too close to the sun?
I did.
Okay,
Just
ready?
like
Which sounds
Icarus.
better? This, hello, hello. This, hello, hello, hello. This, hello, hello, hello. This, hello, hello, hello.
I think it's the first one. The
This one.
cardboard. Yeah, were you
Okay.
switching the thing on the back of
Yeah.
it?
Yeah.
Because
All
it
right.
has the less amount of reverb,
Yeah.
least amount of freebird.
Gotta get that. Gotta lower the Freedbergs. No Friedbergs here.
It's good.
Okay.
Sounds good.
Now, here is Yahoo Sports. So right out of the gate, up at the top, you've got your leagues that you can scroll across, right? You can customize these to show up in whatever order you want. It's beautiful. You can also favorite teams. So, it shows up at the top. My teams apparently, I guess, are the Hornets, the Cavaliers, and Steelers. So here's what I love about it, right? So following a game, obviously there's no live game right now, but going into the Ravens-Steelers game, you've got your highlights here, your score by quarter, a little write-up, quarterly summary, win probability, the betting odds, the spread, what percentage of people have bet, your stat leaders, team stats, and down at the bottom where it was played and everything, what the spread was and the total was before the game. Right?
Attendance.
Weather and stuff like that.
Where's the attendance? Otherwise, I'm out.
That would be really
hard
nice.
out.
You're right. That's a good one.
It's not. You got to go to the box score in the Post Gazette.
There's also hilarious discussion part.
Yeah, okay.
I thought Lamar was a good football player. Why would anyone in Steel Time be hesitant to play the Ravens or Lamar? Consistently, they take away his legs and become average or worse. Ravens need to get rid of those white jerseys. If we play that bad against Cleveland next week, I'll be surprised if we win.
Sammy B. Right? They got to get rid of the white. They got to get rid of away jerseys. What are they thinking?
In general?
That's what Sammy B said.
Yeah, Sammy B's not having it.
So they got to get rid of these.
Sometimes, like if I'm watching a game, so let's go to a non-Steeler game. So the Bengals Chargers last night, right? If I'm watching the game and I want to know what's going on, right? What I love about this app is that everything's interactive. So I can go to the Bengals logo, touch on the Bengals logo here at the top next to the 27 to score, and it'll take me to their page. I can look at their schedule, see what their wins and losses were, their roster, and their stats. So where they rank in the league. Now, let's say I want to see how's Jamar Chase been doing? I go into Jamar Chase. I know how old he is. This is all just so easy to navigate. It gives you his last games, recent career regular season, recent career postseason. I've got his game log. I've got his full stat page, right? I've got news on him. I love that. Love that, right? Going to the Chargers. Hey, who's getting the most sacks on the Chargers? Oh, okay. There's all the sacks. It's Bud Dupree, former Steeler. That's exciting.
Can you
check out Bud Dupree's career? You can't sort,
no.
Which is a big thing. I get it, but I'd rather be able to go deep into any of these things, right? So I can click into any of these games. You can just keep going. So September 29th, Josh's birthday. He had 2 sacks. Let me take a look at that box score, right? And now I'm into the box score for the Chiefs. And let me see what's going on with the Chiefs this year. I love it. It's such a fun way to navigate all this stuff. The best part is, I'll go back to the Steelers game. Well, if you're in the game, when the game's live, you'll get the most recent plays here, and they show up like this. So let's start at the game, beginning of the game, first quarter. Pittsburgh kicked off. Derrick Henry rushed up the middle for 3 yards, tackled by Keanu Benton. And this is sometimes how I like to watch games. Are you impressed by any of this?
It seems like you obviously gel very, very. You're a very cohesive relationship, symbiotic, maybe, with your Budgetify website.
Budgetify.
I like that.
Why don't we just always make this our view?
So it only delays. They're all the same. They don't delay like.
Do you remember this? Do you remember this?
Yeah, that was a thing. It was one of those.
Do you remember where we learned
preteen sort of ticks that you just do because you have too much energy?
That was a skill. Do you know how to do that?
I know that. Get this out of here. I can't see. It's just too busy. I'm removing it. There. Go ahead. Do your move.
When we were in third grade, Mrs. Logan, you were in that class, I believe.
Yeah.
She would stand up at the front of the class. If we were all acting wild or whatever, she would just go.
Oh, I don't remember that.
And we would be like, and she said, if you guys get through this lesson, I'll show you all how to do it.
I don't remember that.
And she showed us how to do it, and I still know how to do it today.
Remember when you had to go to school every day?
Yeah.
Like you didn't have a choice. You couldn't like work. You couldn't like go to school from home or like miss a class because you had a meeting.
Yeah, we didn't have a choice. As a matter of fact, I remember when we were in sixth grade and seventh grade, and they were giving us assignments for research papers that we had to do. And mine was school choice. And we had to submit our thesis. And our teacher got up in front of the class and said, some of you missed the point of this exercise. For example, Josh, school choice is not the choice whether or not you get to go to school or not.
I choose no school.
My topic was school choice, and I just skipped right over the research and thought, I think it's great that we're being given the choice whether or not we should go to school.
Who was I talking to? It might have been Laura Cohen. I saw her last weekend, and we were talking about your class rank.
My class rank.
No, maybe it was my parents when they were down. They were down here a few weekends ago.
232 out of it was like
230. You were 233 out of 332.
That's what it was. 233 out of 332.
It was the palindrome or whatever. I want to read you something. I had this in the back pocket. I actually told you to remind me, and you didn't, and I forgot about it. But let's go down the school bad grades,
please.
That we've both have the funniest stories.
By the way, my mom gave me a file folder of like every report card that I've ever had recently, and I think I threw it away.
I have tried to order my transcript from Virginia Tech, but it's been a lot of. I hit a couple of roadblocks. Yeah, I was like, I don't need an official one. I don't need one that's notarized. I just want I want to be able to access it so I can read it on the Rich and Josh show. But without that, I have I was looking through my Google Sheets or my emails, maybe. I was talking to Sarah about it, and then my parents came down. I was like, oh, I got to read you this. So I don't think it's to anyone who knows us, Josh and I were like the worst students of all time.
Yeah, we were pretty bad. I would say we were the worst students that were not perceived as bad students.
Correct.
We were the worst
bad
of the
people.
Tier. Yeah.
We weren't like angry kids. We just didn't try. And but it was clear that we weren't dumb. It just like this was not. We're just here to get through this. And
we're here because school choice has not been passed as legislature yet.
We're great workers, but we're not. Yes, Josh's school choice has not yet come to fruition. Anyway, found an email, and it was a draft to myself about, and I started reading it, and I realized it was a letter, or like a brief letter that I wrote to the University of Maryland when I was applying to grad school, addressing the elephant in the room of my GPA from undergrad.
Which was, did we start with a 2 or a 3?
Oh,
Well,
dude.
it obviously started with a 2. Otherwise, did it start with a 2 or a 1? I should say.
Well, you can't graduate with a 1.
Okay.
So it's impossible. It's an impossibility. Let me read you the first sentence of this email. Even though my undergraduate GPA at Virginia Tech was only a 2.6, I still believe I'd be an excellent. I still believe I'd be an excellent student at Robert H. Smith, whatever, part-time program. Okay. And I went part-time. I went at night. I knew there was no chance any school was going to let me quit my job and go to school there for 2 years and somehow be an asset to them afterwards. Like that, there was no evidence that was going to be the case. When you go part-time.
I've never really thought about grad school, but that's how it goes, right? Like they're betting on your future.
They don't want people to like go there and then not get great jobs, right? They want the alumni. First of all, they want you to be able to donate to the school.
Sure.
And if you have a great job, you can do that.
Right.
But part-time, man, they just want to fill those fucking seats. It was a campus that was in DC. It was walkable to where I was living and working at the time. They just need to make that fucking lease payment. That's it.
And
right?
And so is this you arguing to go to the Knights?
Yeah. And little did I know, like literally I applied and a week later I got accepted. I mean, they just,
like, wow, must have been a pretty good email.
The first 60 people that send them a check and it clears, they're in. Okay. So that was the first sentence. The second, it's not long. I'll read you the highlights. It's no secret that I didn't spend my time wisely, comma, from an academic standpoint, comma, at Virginia Tech. It's like, I want to be clear that I'm addressing only the academic. I'm atoning for only my academic performance, or lack thereof. Everything else, I have no issues with the way I did. Yeah. I enjoyed my time there. I got a lot out of everything else.
Yeah.
I learned how to play the guitar. I was on the triathlon club.
Did you mention this?
Yeah. No.
Oh.
They don't fucking care.
Well, I mean,
when you finish 4 years of undergraduate study with a 2.6 overall GPA, you inevitably start your career with additional hurdles to clear than those of your classmates. Yeah, like, okay. It was too easy for me. I had to get shit grades so that I had this.
You wanted to challenge yourself.
I needed a challenge. With the and then I got anyway. The last sentence that's good is like, to go back and dissect the reasons why my undergraduate GPA were so low would be counterproductive. Let's just not even worry about it. It's not worth the time for me to write it. Yeah. Certainly for you to read it.
Yeah, look, we could run around all day and come up with reasons that things happen, but it's like a rocking chair. It gives you something to do, but it's not going to get you anywhere.
Yeah, and then I got in. How about that?
I mean, I think the funniest part is that you felt that you needed to write this. Like, I would love to have seen the person who received this.
I know.
And they were just like, oh, okay, GPA. Okay, we don't care. Okay. This guy sent his money in yet? He's good.
Sign him up. He convinced me, right? Everybody? Yeah, it's just a room of one person. Like, everybody agree? Yeah, okay. Admissions meeting.
What 233 out of 332. So I was in the bottom 30%. I'd like to see the current, the updated power rankings.
Right. That's where it matters, right? Like, okay, yeah. Who got worse grades and is doing better?
I bet you it's not a long list.
I can't. It may be zero, honestly.
Yeah.
Not that we're sitting here fucking lighting the world on fire. I mean, we're doing fine, right? We're supporting our lifestyle, and I
Yeah,
think we do okay.
we're supporting our lifestyle despite having sacrificed our academic career for no reason.
Fuck that shit, though, man. That's the other thing. I've realized that I am as bad of a student as I am, and how little I can motivate myself to do that. I'm the complete opposite for a worker. Like I can work.
Yeah.
I'm better at that than a lot of people,
Yeah. I
and
do
so are
think
you.
that I would be further ahead. I would be farther ahead in my career if I had not put myself in a position to learn certain organizational and time management skills on the job. That's the benefit. Like getting good grade. It's not that you're learning anything. It's that you're learning how to be productive. You're learning how to manage your time. You're learning how to take an assignment and, integrate it with your life and still get it done. And we luckily are quick learners, so we figured that out on the job. But there's a lot of people who got good grades who came in and were able to crush it right out of the gate and are way ahead. So
Here's the other thing, though. Like, how much farther ahead do you really want to be at this point?
I think about that a lot, man. I don't know. I mean, yeah, I kind of feel like two schools of thought there, at least for my profession. There, I can do where I'm at for the rest of my life and do very well, and that's it. But there is something a little bit sad about an old guy still humping a bag, taking meetings, like with the Willie Loman aspect of it, right? I work with them, I see them, they're great, but every step forward involves things that like don't really, they just kind of wreck your life. Like
Yeah.
everything else is just such a big time commitment. I don't know, especially now having a child. I think about that. I've had time to think about that during this leave. Is like, okay, well, is this my time to like be super motivated and hit work extra hard and try to give this little girl the best life I can give her, or should I pull back a little bit and be present more? And it's funny. I saw a post on Twitter today that said a lot of men use family as an excuse to not work as hard as they can. Whereas previous generations, the thinking was, I'm going to go work however many hours it takes so that they have a better life than me. Where do you stand in that?
Well, I don't have the child aspect, so
But just like
that's a
in
big
terms of, is it worth it to go that extra 20 hours a week?
no.
Yeah.
20
Doesn't
hours a
seem
week?
like
You
it.
fucking kidding me?
Well, like the difference
Absolutely
between
not.
somebody who works 40 hours a week and 60 hours a week, I think is
Yeah,
like,
no, it's not.
yeah.
I'm not doing that. I'm done.
Yeah. I think my sweet spot is somewhere in the 45 to 50 range.
Yeah, agreed. And we work in very transactional businesses too. So sometimes it's 50, sometimes it's 30, sometimes
Yeah.
it is 60, and sometimes it's 15,
Yeah.
if we're being honest.
Yeah.
But I'm ready for that. When it
Sure.
takes 60, but the fucking 60 hours, I have no desire to become a C-suite person
Yeah. Me
or
neither.
a
Me neither.
leader of multiple departments or any of that.
And
I'm a product guy. Give me a product and give me a team, and I'll run that product. But that's it. I don't want anything else. And then just kind of stay out of my way. That's all. That's all I want, man. But I am after this year has been brutal, but also at the same time a very good learning experience about how much you can care about your thing and it have a very tangible benefit. It's success having a very tangible benefit for the greater organization, but still no one else giving a fuck
yeah.
about
Yeah.
uh, what it matters. So I am out. Like, I am never going to let
Well, don't say
myself
never.
get.
You need some time to unravel. You need some time to
Let
unravel
me
all
finish the
that.
thought.
And
I'm
yeah,
never going to let myself get so out of sorts based on my work. That's my point.
that's a good
If
lesson.
things
Yeah.
fall in place, like that's one thing, but I'm never going to, care as much as I cared to the point of like feeling the negative
Yeah.
thoughts around work that
Yeah,
I did
that's very
earlier this year
healthy.
and got nothing out of it.
I think that my focus now is to gain as much expertise as possible in what I do. And I
Mhm.
think that's the reward. The expertise is the reward. The people who will seek out your expertise is the reward. And whatever that looks like, whether it's a frontline leader role or director role, I certainly don't want to go any more above that. The older I get, I kind of feel like I do feel sorry a little bit for the people who put everything into their career, right? Who really want to be that C level. Because at the end of the day, there's got to be something wrong there, right? It's an unnatural balance. It is. Is my life going to be it, it's a balancing act. Is an extra $2 million a year worth me never seeing the family or friends or doing the things I love? I think the
Okay,
answer
so
is only yes if you love working.
there's that. The other thing is you cannot be a high level whatever. You will never get to the C-suite unless you fit the mold that already exists. You're not going to come in and be yourself and be the fucking C or president of whatever. I mean, that's just you'd have to make serious. I'm learning this about myself. Maybe I'm just
That's
projecting.
interesting. I don't know if I agree with
Serious
that.
interpersonal changes to not only the way you interact with people, but like the look that you have, the way you dress. And I'm not saying I dress. I've been wearing a sport coat every day, and I
Feels
love it.
good, doesn't it?
It does. I need to get some unstructured ones. The ones I got
Yeah.
from Indochino look great, but they're a little too stiff.
A little too tight. Yeah. Sport coat's supposed to be a
I
little bit more relaxed. I like that.
the so I ordered a couple more, but anyway,
Nice.
I think if like I don't want to fucking deal with everyone else
Yeah.
when it comes down to it. I
Yeah.
don't want to motivate this group of people, and I don't know that there's an amount of money that they could send me or assign to me, like in options or whatever, that would make me motivated to lead a sales meeting.
You
You know
know,
what I
man,
mean?
that's funny though, because like hearing you speak, that the fact that you think about it that way is what would make you good at it. Because you're thinking empathetically. You're thinking about, if I lead a team, I need to motivate these people. I need to meet them where they are. Their problems become my problems. The people who are actually in those roles don't think that way. They're thinking about themselves. They're thinking, if I get into this role, then I can get into that role. And then the next one, and then another door will open up. But you're actually addressing the body of work for what it should be, which is overwhelming and daunting. So, to your point, changing your interpersonal profile, you would have to care less about the things you care about and care more about yourself. On the other hand, I've been working with that career coach, and she's teaching me that, like, there is part of your essence that you have to unlock in order to become the best version of yourself. Like, you need to be vulnerable enough to not, I don't know, like, if you're putting on a show every day at work, it's exhausting, right? And if you find the way to just be yourself, but still in the mold of the corporate environment, I think you're coming off of a really tough situation that, I don't know, I think you handled it well, but I think you also think that you let it go on for too long, and you're upset about that. You feel like you
Uh,
compromised too much of yourself, and like you cared when other people didn't. Like, those are really rotten feelings.
that's the worst part, right? So I was fine doing the work, man. I it was like such a very tangible, like, is this working or not? And by any measure, it was like unbelievably successful. I was telling Laura Cohen about this on Friday. Like, I led a liquidation fucking masterpiece. There
Yeah.
is the lawyers I presented my strategy to. Our counsel was like, "This is extremely well thought out. We have no notes on the
See,
strategy." here's this,
expertise.
and I'm like, perfect. And so I'm going to do this, and I'm going to motivate a fucking team of people who are working themselves out of jobs to stick with me for a year and a half to do this and just get yelled at. It's like I was so into that. But when it came to time to fucking pay up, I got nothing. And they were like, yeah, it's just, yeah, it's fine. But, I'm like, you guys fucking asked me to do this and I killed it.
Yeah.
And you got, and I let that bother me.
Hard not to let that
way
bother
too
you, man.
much. I'm never going to let that happen again.
Well, yeah,
it's
hard to not let it bother you after the fact, right? I think, but so now what you're saying is, well, I'm just never going to care that much again, so that I don't get put in that situation.
That's right, and it hurt because
somewhere in the middle there.
It was, I'm still leading a team, and I'm trying to keep them motivated, and I'm like, I don't have anything for you guys anymore. Like I would leave if I was you. Like I was saying that. I mean, like you guys, if you should do what's best for you at this point.
That's the bank. That's a good leader.
The bank does not care that we are doing this. That was my review, my annual review for everyone on my team. You got a great
on your new team or your old one?
No, the old one.
Yeah. Okay, yeah. That's the right thing to do. I mean, there's also this. I had a really good boss that I still call on as a mentor sometimes when I was at Miro, and I asked him one time. We were having a conversation, and I said, "Can I tell you something that's just going to stay between you and I?" And he said, "I can't promise that. I'm an officer of this company. I can't. I'm more than happy to hear you out, but like," and a light bulb went off for me in that moment that you really do have to make a decision, because the people who rise within corporations are the people who put the corporation first. And think about it. If you're at the top of the org chart, you want your guys saying that, right? You want your guys saying, "I represent the company. I'm under contract with this company. I'm not, my second priority is Josh the human being," or maybe my third, right?
Right. I got you.
So I think that like that decision right there is kind of soul sucking, because why would you ever want to represent the company's interests over the human beings that you work with?
Well, there's, when things are going great, that's easy to do. When things are not going great, right, I guess it's easier to do.
Yeah.
But
yeah, it's like, we're all shareholders here, and
I don't want to fucking talk about what I will say is that, the new, I'm enjoying I'm having to make some serious adjustments in the new role to the speed at which this new company operates. It's much slower. I have fewer responsibilities. I also have fewer I don't have signature authority yet, which is crazy to me. On deals, I gotta like submit a request to have someone who knows nothing about my loans.
One of those, huh?
It is a level below me sign my documents. Like, all right, whatever. If that's how you guys want to do it, I'm not going to fucking care. Signer. Pretty much, and it's like a huge bottleneck. I don't know why they haven't changed it, but I'm like, look, at some point, and I've already told my boss this. If someone wants to, if a borrower wants to pay off their loan and move from the bank we're at to another bank, that's fine. If they hate the bank, I have a problem whenever they're like, I hate the bank, and Rich Strayer was the guy that I had to deal with at the bank. That I got a problem with. If you want to hate the bank and leave, fine. But as soon as you start assigning my name as like the guy who couldn't get shit done, where in the meantime I'm sitting here waiting for someone to sign a fucking document, I got a problem with that. Bother you? Because it's my reputation, and if I'm going to be in the sales industry at this point, then that's everything, right? What else is more important?
Nothing. You're dead right on that.
And he got it. But so I've been politely being a pain in the ass when I need fucking something done. And it sucks that that's what has to happen. But I've already presented the solution of, just let me sign these documents that really mean nothing.
That's what will endear you to your customers too, because
that's what your job is to help them navigate your company and stand up for their interest and like help get things done quicker. They'll remember that.
Oh,
it takes so little
two.
for the opposite to happen, you know?
It's
there's things that
I've
happen
already
every
had
day,
yeah.
you know, where
I've
I'm
had
like,
both of them.
how do you
Go
not
ahead.
know that this is going to like hurt my credibility? And how do you not know how much that matters? Right? It's everything.
Maybe it doesn't. I don't know. Maybe it actually
It does.
doesn't matter to them. And
It
I assume it matters to, you're talking about the bank. Like, yeah, it should matter. You hired me to do this.
right.
So I assume you want to continue to do this.
Right.
But, you know, we got borrowers telling me already that they're politicking to leave the bank. So that, you know, I'm doing everything I can to fix the issues that I was left with. But if you don't want to, you know, done.
I'm with you. But you're liking the new gig more.
It is. The work is more interesting. I'd like the fact that I am learning, having to, the first couple of weeks, I just dropped in and fucking had to figure it out. And I love that. I had zero help. Yeah. I had video recordings of the person who was in charge of managing the 2 loans that I have from 6 months ago, teaching the guy who replaced him, who then left the bank as soon as I got there and hadn't done anything in 3 months, that he was responsible for it. So I've just been it's been like a fucking scavenger trying to unwind.
So let me pose something to you. And you love that, right? So tons of ambiguity, tons of unsolved problems. And you love that. When I moved to New York for Amazon and I got a chance to build that team, I created the chance to build that team. I met with my boss for 30 minutes every month, one time for 30 minutes a month. Other teams were doing something similar. I went to meet with them. I interviewed people. I read, I tried things. I proposed things. I built solutions. And it was the most fun. It was the only time in my career where I felt like this is what I was meant to do. Right. And it sounds like you feel the same way. The reason I think largely that people take a corporate 9-to-5, a W-2 employee, is because they don't want that ambiguity. They want security. So why aren't you and I in business for ourselves?
Well,
because isn't that the biggest hurdle for people starting their own business?
Sure. That and like I think it's partially that they like how'd you say it? They like the security of a W-2 versus also having a shit ton of money to be able to start a business. That's the other thing.
Get a loan.
Oh yeah.
Let's do that. Start a business.
By the way, yeah, I don't know that I will ever be so comfortable where I can just say, I'm not only going to not make my salary anymore, but I'm also going to load myself and my family up with debt.
Yeah, no, I agree. I mean, huge bet. It's a huge risk. So, and I agree with you. It's the reason I'm not doing it. So that leaves us where? It leaves us in a position where we want both. We want to find that little sliver of the corporate world where you're still getting the paycheck, you're still getting insurance, you have the security, but you're not treated like someone who's not willing to take risks and manage ambiguity. And those things are hard to find. And we will forever be frustrated in jobs where we don't have that unless we take the leap. I don't know. I think the hardest thing about starting a business is starting it. Like not the first year, like the first day, like actually making the decision to do it. Because once you and I are in position where we don't have income anymore, I have a feeling we'd figure it out pretty quick.
Right. Yeah, that is figuring it out is when, especially after you've figured other things out in your career and you've got a mental Rolodex to go back on and be like, oh yeah, I've done that.
Yeah.
That's not hard, I don't think. But
you don't have to start something from scratch. You could buy a business Or you could do
Sure.
like one of those 1099 type things, which are, for me, that would probably look like recruiting, which I don't want to do, or a 1099 sales job where I'm out on my own, just, living off of commission. I don't know.
If you're having a problem being the older guy who's walking around the office taking meetings, you're really gonna have a problem.
Well, that's different. I mean,
1099 sales.
I disagree. I mean, if you're a business owner, there's no age limits for being a business owner.
Okay. No,
If you're
fair.
the guy who owns the company, you're walking in. But if you're like a 58-year-old sales rep surrounded by 30 to 40-year-olds,
Back in my day.
Yeah, exactly. I remember when the first business trip happened. We didn't use software then. We used scratch paper and geometry.
We didn't have Post-it notes. We had little pieces of paper and Scotch tape.
So back to what really matters. Are the Steelers a contender?
Yeah.
Are they for real, Rich?
I mean, we'll see, right? I mean, the Ravens were good.
You're a shitty sports analyst. You have to have committed, loud opinions.
Oh, well, then the answer is definitely resounding no. They can't run the football. You can't be a contender. You can't run the football.
I saw so much. I mean, I've already mentioned this, but so I was on Twitter after the game, and how are we going to beat the Chiefs and the Bills? We can't score one touchdown.
You're telling me you're going to go into Kansas City or Buffalo in January and not run the football?
Is that
what you're telling me?
I've got a great interaction here that I had on Twitter where someone was complaining, Russ Wilson, he ain't got no mobility. How's he going to scramble for a first down? Let's see if I can find it.
I love the Justin Fields late game substitution.
Yeah,
that was brilliant. Slid, I mean, it would have that game would have been over. I mean, shit. I tell you what, he is a really good sport, and he's handling his demotion, right? I mean, there is he was the starter, and he's now not playing.
I completely agree.
He's handling it really well.
I agree. And that will pay off literally next season. He'll get a huge check because of it.
Yeah, I hope so. Not from the Steelers, probably.
No, definitely not.
The Methuselah.
Yeah, I don't know what that means.
It's an odd autocorrect.
Yeah.
I mean, oh, there you go. There's you.
Yeah.
Something you are intellectually incapable of. From Rayan.
Asshole.
Cornelius Mac G.
It's funny to me that people are like they can't score. We need a mobile quarterback. Why? What would that have done? You got to score more touchdowns.
We had one.
Yeah, we literally one played for us in this game that ran twice. Replacing that mobile quarterback is why we're having success. And like the fact that they held the best offense in the NFL, how many points do they have? 16? 18, 16? Yeah. To 16 points. And still won without scoring a touchdown, I feel like is way more impressive than if they had scored a touchdown. Like if someone were to say, why is Mike Tomlin a great coach? That's the game I would point to.
Man, yeah. The one. When Russell Wilson threw that pick in the end zone at the end of the game.
I have a strong opinion about that play. Yeah.
I understand what he was trying to do. I get it. But that is a decision that, like, dude, just fucking throw it away. You've been throwing it away all game.
But I think that's why he did what he did.
He had done it too many times.
That's right. Sacked 4 times. How many times did he throw it away? And another handful. And it's third down. You've been having trouble getting in the red zone all day. last week you throw a beautiful touchdown pass to win the game and you're the hero of the city. And that's all in his mind. And he looks and sees his 6'7", 280 tight end. And I need to see that I need the all 22 film for that. I got to see from the end zone camera how far above his head that really was. Because maybe he thought there was someone behind him and it was intended for someone else.
It looked like because
he went full statue.
He did, but I wonder if it like totally caught him off. I think he was thinking there's no chance I'm getting this pass thrown to me, let alone over my head.
Right.
And I'm expected to jump. And so I think it just caught him flat-footed. Right. It's one of those situations where like your mind's going one way and your body's like not in the right position to react to whatever that was. I get it. And that's why Russell Wilson, I mean, he makes every top level athlete has gotten past what should I do in this situation?
That's right.
I know I can make this happen.
That's right. So and that's why I believe it was the right thing. And like, you don't want to correct that. That's what you want your quarterback doing. You want him trying to be aggressive, confident, and win games, not trying to throw it away for a field goal.
Here's the problem. I agree. If that happened in the second quarter, I'm all for it. It happened with like 2 minutes left, and they were up by 8. You kick a field goal.
They were up by 5, so they would have gone up by 8.
No.
Yeah.
No, they
were up by 5 at that point. Yeah, they were.
Let me see.
They came back and got another field goal after that.
Okay. I thought they were up
that's why it was even more risky, though, is because they were only up by 5, and a field goal would have put you up by 8.
Okay. Yeah, either way. I mean, I guess I thought that was going to ice the game.
I've got an app for this where I can go to the plays very easily.
Budgetify.
I'm going to go into Budgetify. It was fourth quarter, right? Let me just see. Intercepted. Let's see. Very easy to find. Very easy. It was 3rd and goal at the Baltimore 5 with 9:33 left in the fourth quarter.
Okay. Got it.
So I don't know what the score was then, though. Oh no, it was. Yeah, it was. The Steelers were up by 5. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I think it was a good decision. I also think that Russ throws a really interesting ball. Like he really, even on his shorter passes, the ball like has that parabolic trajectory. Is that the right term? Parabola. Like it was one of those balls that like falls from the sky. Like even the guy from the Ravens, so when he threw it, it looked like it was going out of the back of the end zone. I think even the guy from the Ravens was surprised it landed in his arms.
I don't know.
Like I'm saying, it was tough to judge for Washington. Like it was too hard for him to tell.
It was a very unique looking pass. I mean, the ball was in the air forever. Like that's not exactly what.
And like the ball high pointed like right above his head, and then just started dropping. It was weird.
Yeah,
but I think it was a good move.
Get it, but I don't. Yeah, you got to work that out with Darnell before the play.
Arthur Smith. Well, go ahead.
If I see you being guarded by someone who looks like they are a generation younger than you, I'm going to throw it to you over your head. Just fucking be ready.
Yeah. Or a foot shorter than you.
That's what I mean. It looks like it was his nephew.
Oh, yeah. Generation. Yeah.
Like that.
Yeah. I mean, I saw this great video. It was it Since You've Been Gone? Yeah, it was Since You've Been Gone by Kelly Clarkson. And it started off with Kenny Pickett interception highlights. And then it went to Fields and Russell Wilson. It was pretty funny. But man, like some of those Kenny Pickett passes were so bad. Like Mike Tomlin should have won Coach of the Year last year for going 10-7 with Kenny Pickett and fucking Mitch Trubisky. That's crazy. So like those teams, you knew we were going to, if we made it to the playoffs by some miracle, which it always was, like the Bills need to beat the Texans by exactly 6, and the Lions need to stay home and forget they had a game. And like, that's what happened, and they got in. And you just knew they were going to get bounced. I feel like this team still isn't like as good as the record shows because they played kind of lower caliber teams, but I don't get the sense that they're going to get bounced one game into the playoffs.
I don't think it's a foregone conclusion like it has been in years past. Because essentially, if they then what are they, third? And so that means they'll have a home game against the
Chiefs,
Chargers,
Bills, and them.
I think. Well, yeah, it's certainly not the Ravens now, but I think it's the Chiefs and the Bills are still.
Yeah, Kansas City, Buffalo, Pittsburgh.
I don't think the Bills have had their bye week yet either.
I think I can find this very easily.
9-3, or 9 are they 9-2 or 10-2?
No, they're 8-2, and they're or wait, maybe 9-2, 9-2, and their bye week is this week.
And so the Steelers are 8-2, right?
Steelers are 8-2, yeah.
So
if they win on
so
Thursday
interesting
night,
that all.
Oh, do you want to do a stream on Thursday night for the game?
Yeah. Let's do the first half at least.
Yeah. Tomorrow's my first day back, man.
I want to talk about that,
dude.
I do have to bolt at 9, but
that's fine.
We got 20 minutes.
It's such a weird feeling. I finally on Friday got back into the chair, logged back in, checked some emails, just because I didn't want all of that hanging over my head. But my first day back, I'm supposed to be in San Francisco for QBRs, where I'm presenting on this previous quarter that I wasn't there for 2.5 months of, where I still exceeded my quota by 200%, by the way, which is fucking awesome. And it would still be hard to leave Allison at this point, one-on-one with the baby. So I decided, my boss was like, you don't have to come. You're not presenting, you don't have to come. So I didn't. So now my first 3 days back are going to be Zoom all-day sessions on West Coast hours.
Oh man!
From
are you going into the office at least, or are you staying?
I'll be here. Yeah.
Nice. Okay, that's good.
Yeah, I really struggled with that decision because really I wanted to take a victory lap.
Yeah, you'll get it.
Be like, how'd you guys do this quarter? Oh yeah, not so good, huh? I wasn't even there, and I did a lot better than you. How does that feel?
Just do that over Zoom to the room of people.
It's not the same feeling, but I will. Yeah. I promise you, I will. It's just
you'll look like the fucking the Oracle.
1984
in the conference room. Yeah, right. How was everyone's quarter?
The voice of God coming from the ceiling.
Right.
I have a question. But if I don't know where you guys are in having a decision to have a kid, but I recommend it, if for nothing else, the 2.5 months off. Think about it.
Noted.
When have you ever had 2.5 months off where you didn't have to worry about money or your job?
Yeah.
Not even through college, we didn't have that much time off. How long is summer break? 2 months?
I still worked.
Still worked
in college, yeah.
Yeah, I didn't have anything to do. I haven't put on pants in a really long time.
Right.
So it's going to be a bit of an adjustment. And I get into bed every night now at 7:30 because the baby sleeps in our room. She's still in a bassinet. 7, she gets bath at 7, start putting her down at 7:30. So I'm kind of in the bedroom with the lights out. She's probably asleep by 8:30. And then she wakes up at, between 1 and 2, and then again at 4. Allison takes the first feeding. I take the 4. So I've been up since 4 a.m. and as I am most days now. So I have to figure out how to integrate my work schedule into this schedule. Or Allison does everything. Hours. Or and West Coast hours, or we hire help, which is not even financially worth it. It's so
that's a lot.
It's a lot, man. But
what's Allison's work schedule?
So she gets another 3.5 months.
Oh wow.
Another 3 or 4 months. Yeah, she gets a total of 6 months, which is nice.
Okay. So you got a little time before you really
got a little runway. And frankly, and you'll see if this happens to you guys. Every conversation we had about daycare or nannies has completely gone out the window. Prior to the baby being born, has completely gone out the window. The thought for a mother of dropping this child off at a corporate building and going to work all day, she's not anywhere near being ready to do that. So what we're looking into now is extending her leave with no pay. or a small portion of her pay, which really isn't that bad because her stock is still vesting, and that makes up 2/3 of her comp. So the stock's still coming in. The salary is nice, but it's not necessary. But I think she wants to not go back to work at all. The problem is, in order for her to vest all the stock that she has given to her, the only time it makes sense for her to go back is for just like another year. But in the development of the baby, that's the only time it makes sense not to go back to work. So what do you do?
I don't know, man. It's that I certainly have no personal experience with that decision.
Yeah.
And I'm sure whatever you guys figure out or decide, you'll figure it out. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll do this. I mean, we can work on that. I will say, you are a salesman.
Yeah.
And that is a volatile
yeah
compensation structure.
Very much so. Not only compensation, but tenure at a company is not promised.
Right.
Like, there's not salesmen who stay at the same company, who make a lot of money, who stay at the same company for 8-9 years. It's very rare.
That being said, it's clear, and I know you know this at this point. How many different fucking companies have you come to work for and just been the best salesperson there before you inevitably leave for one reason or another, and then go somewhere else and do it all over again? I mean,
yeah, but it's exhausting.
Sure.
Especially when I'm learning a new industry. Like it's a lot. And
it's not easy, but you've been able to do it over.
I've been able to do it.
So you should have no issues with the confidence that you will get. You're not going to fucking be on the street.
So that's why. So Allison's thought was, well, maybe we move down market, right? We find a cheaper place to live, like Pittsburgh, Colorado, where her family is. And I'm like, yeah, but I am in sales. It is volatile. Getting a job in Pittsburgh is not nearly as easy. Like when Miro laid me off, I had another job in a month and a half or 2 months.
Yeah.
And I had 2 offers to choose from. It's not going to be like that in Pittsburgh, So, but we did do a cost of living comparison. It's pretty nuts. It's pretty nuts.
From there to Pittsburgh. Yeah, dude, it's not.
Would you ever move back? Allison asked me if you would, and I said I didn't think so, but I'm curious.
I think that I'm more open to it today than I ever have been. That being said, it's still not very high.
Yeah.
We have here now, Sarah's career is in the last 3 months has rocketed to a level
that's awesome.
that is only really capable of happening here.
Right. And that's it. Like you get to that point and it's like, it's not practical to leave anymore.
It's not. And if it was, listen, if the only reason we were here is because of work and not because of all the friends that she has here, and that we still are driving distance from Pittsburgh and State College.
Yeah.
Or, I mean, we have this great house that we're getting ready to destroy.
You guys you're in a great neighborhood. You have a great house. You've got a community around you.
Amazing neighbors. Like there's nothing, I can't think of anything bad about our situation here. And so if it was only career, then I think we might have already moved to Pittsburgh, honestly.
Yeah.
But that's not the case.
Because we don't have those things here. I mean,
right.
And Navon said that I can keep my current job and be in Pittsburgh. Yeah. You know what's funny? Allison was looking at houses for sale in Pittsburgh, and we have been for like a couple of years just looking. She showed me a house that was what was the address? 1856 Trigone Drive. I was like, okay, so this is interesting, Allison. You don't have to show me that house. I know that house. I know who lived in that. Was that your actual house? That wasn't mine, but it was right down the street.
Muffley's house, yeah.
Yeah. And like
that's the other. I don't ever want to live in a neighborhood like that. Not that there's anything wrong with that, but I need to.
You would think
so. I got back here. I was
maybe.
maybe like Shady Side, maybe. But
Yeah.
then at that point, you're looking at prices that aren't that much different, and
Right.
you know,
They're still. I mean,
there's
Squirrel
still
Hill,
like
Shady
less.
Side. They're you live like a pharaoh for what you guys are paying now.
Maybe.
Definitely.
I don't know. We couldn't afford the house that we have now there because of the rate that that's the other thing. The interest rate is so low. I mean, it's not happening. We will not be, we're moving out of this house for like 8 months to destroy it and rebuild it.
Yeah.
So
I know you're not leaving anytime soon.
That decision, that die has been cast for the next 5 years, as far as I'm concerned. However, there's a lot of positives about moving to Pittsburgh for obviously someone who has family there, but even if you didn't, the people there, Sarah loved working at Alcoa. Like the people loved the people at Alcoa. She didn't love working remotely, but that's not Pittsburgh's fault. I mean, just there's a lot going on for that city these days that didn't occur 25 years ago, and that's why we all left.
It's true.
Well, I left. You didn't leave for a while, but
and like
for different reasons.
I don't know that whatever. I could talk about this for hours, but like it sucks to move somewhere. To me, it's like I couldn't make it here. There's just part of me that feels like that's saying, and I would rather lean into the challenge of, okay, you retire, I'll find a way to do it here in the biggest market. I don't know, like I used to live in New York City. I used to work in New York.
It's that Alec Baldwin speech. I was a salesman once, tough racket.
Yeah, exactly.
I love that. I don't like movies. I love that movie.
Yeah, it's good.
Would you ever consider fully leaning in to the city, the big city life, and moving back into Manhattan?
We've talked about
an apartment, and then just being like, this kid's going to go to public school or whatever. We'll figure that out. But we are going to like walk and enjoy our neighborhood of Manhattan.
Yeah, we've talked about it. It's tempting. We certainly, that was the plan if we didn't have a kid. We were definitely going back to Manhattan. It's even more expensive. That's the problem. You know, we would be leaving this to go to something like everything is more expensive. But it's a really interesting way to raise it. You ever met someone who was raised in Manhattan?
Other than the Beastie Boys, no, I think that's pretty much
They're a great example. They're a perfect example. Those are Manhattan kids.
Yeah.
Right. Everyone I met that is raised in Manhattan, and I have a few relatives, they're all very unique, interesting people. And I like that because you're surrounded by everything. But I think we've also really started to enjoy suburban life.
Okay.
You know, like, it gets old, like humping groceries up the steps and through the elevator. It gets old, like smelling and the sirens and the garbage everywhere and like the subway. Like it gets old, It's exciting when you're young and like you're single and like the world is yours and you walk everywhere and you go meet friends. But after that, it like just becomes wildly impractical.
I think you hit the nail on the head there where it's like, well, you move back into the city. How many of your friends live in the city still? Right. Not
everyone left during COVID. I mean, I don't know. I kind of lost track because everyone's spread out, but,
so that's, you're not
the younger man's game.
Hey, let's go watch football and I'll bring the kid and they've got like kid friendly bars everywhere now. And that's not as, whatever. We can just like do that, or we'll go to the park and just play.
Yeah, we went to the city this weekend and brought the kid. Like it's nice. It is nice.
Sure.
It's nice.
But it's nice to not have that be the default. You can pick and choose when you have that experience.
Yeah.
As opposed to when it's raining. You can always do it on a nice day, man. But it's like when buying a dog. It's like every time I think a dog's great, it's fucking 40 degrees and raining, and I see people outside walking their dog. I'm like,
or like you want to go on vacation, or you need to go to state college for family stuff. And what do you do with the dog? Right.
We do think we are going after we move back in. Sarah wants a dog, and I am warming to the idea. And I think the compromise will be.
Yeah. You never had a dog, huh?
we did. We had a couple dogs. We gave them both away, like almost immediately, because it's just I was not. I was an angsty preteen. We were living up in St. Clair. We had a Cairn Terrier. Well, actually, the first one we had was we had a Whippet. Do you remember that?
No.
Wings. Yeah, we had a Whippet for like 3 months, and we got it too late. It was like 9 months old, and it was from somewhere in the middle of nowhere, Pennsylvania. Had a huge yard, and she was a breeder and had a bunch of Whippets, and this was all from the same litter. But at that point, it was like 9 or 10 months old, and we took it out of an environment for a Whippet, which is just like open space for them to run.
Yeah, they need to
brought him back to the suburbs, away from all of its siblings, and the dog just
didn't adjust well.
Depressed. It didn't want to go on walks. Like, it didn't even want to do anything, and so we gave it back.
Yeah,
and then we thought, oh, maybe it was just a dog, and so we got a Cairn Terrier puppy, Sparky.
Oh, I remember this now.
Yeah, great dog, but man, I didn't want to play with a dog.
Yeah.
And at that point, it was like, my mom was like, what am I doing? Like, we're not keeping this dog. No one wants to play with it. Like, why? We gave it to friends.
So but what kind are you going to get?
Maybe I've told you this story last.
Oh, Christmas. Yeah, you did.
Yeah. So we were up in,
what kind of dog it was.
It was a mix. It was a border collie mix.
Ooh.
It didn't look like a border collie, but it had the same coloring. It just didn't have the same like coat.
Yeah.
And my sister-in-law's house is always full of dogs. She has 3. She always is boarding more for friends, or like fostering dogs. I think there were 6 dogs there that day.
Who's this, Sarah's sister?
Christmas. Yeah. Christmas morning. And she also, I mean, her business is grooming dogs. She does it out of her basement. Very, like, totally is killing it. I was a little skeptical first, but she has totally done it. Yeah.
Cash business.
Yeah. Look, I haven't seen the books, right?
Yeah.
But it sounds like it's going well, and she's happy. So that's
the book, the notebook that she keeps on her counter.
The Quicken.
Yeah.
Anyway, we walked in that house, and dogs were in cages everywhere, and they're all fucking losing it, and they let them out, and they're jumping all over. And there's this one dog. Her name was Olivia, and she was in her cage. She wasn't barking, but her tail, you could see she was sitting, and her tail was kind of like doing this thing right on the you could tell she was like, oh, hey, I'd like to come out. I'm like, can I let this dog out? Sure. She was the sweetest dog. I think she was a year old, between 1 and 2. Never barked, wasn't shy or skittish about any of the people or the other dogs, like kind of was part of the pack, but like not jumping on. And I'm like, this is the type of dog I want, right?
That's exactly how we picked Maximus. Went to the breeder, a bunch of dogs. They're all going nuts. There was one who was exactly as you just described.
Was Maximus a puppy when you got him?
Yeah.
Okay.
And Chill just walked up, sniffed, and he was like that his whole life. Like that shit really matters. Not necessarily the breed. It's just like that. Sometimes you get one of those in a litter.
So I
think border collies are high energy.
They are, and I'm not against that. Sarah walks a ton around here. I would absolutely do it for great dogs. They're more, border collies are like herding dogs, right?
That's right. They're herding dogs. That's right. Okay. Like an Australian Shepherd.
Yeah. Same sort of thing. And usually they can be kind of mean, but again, this dog was not that. And you could just tell that it was not, if it can be like that in this environment, getting it anywhere where it's more calm would be even better. I think my compromise will be, I'm open to a dog. I don't want a puppy, and I don't want which then kind of means like I don't want a specific breed. we just need to start looking, and I want to start with rescues and see which rescues look cool and act cool and have good dispositions. And let's do that. I don't want to, we're going to have all new shit in this house. Like getting a puppy is just a recipe for disaster. It's going to destroy
it doesn't have to be. They can get trained pretty quickly. But yeah, it can be.
But
here's what
we can't do. Can't be like, I want a golden doodle and I'm going to order one for this from this litter, and then I'm going to go get it. Like, no, we're not doing that.
Because a dog that's high in demand that everybody wants I agree. That's a recipe for disaster. That is like playing dog roulette, the dog slot machine. Like, let's see what comes back. And good on you for not getting a puppy. As cute and sweet as puppies are, they require a ton of training. But if you're not getting a puppy, I love all dogs. I hate dog owners who don't train their dogs. And you go into their house and they jump all over you and they're like, oh, that's just how it is. Like, that's not how it is.
That.
It's how you
are. Not happening.
Yeah.
Right.
Trained dogs are happy dogs. Just like people. They need structure. They need discipline in order to thrive and be happy. But I think it's very sweet that you found a dog that you really warmed up to.
Yeah, that dog's gone. I mean,
you want a bigger dog? I know, but just the idea of it. You want a bigger dog? Medium-sized? Small?
Medium-sized, right? Like 30 to 50 pounds.
You wouldn't want like a 10-pounder.
No.
Or what about 15, 20 pounds?
I guess. I mean, I don't know. Again, I give me disposition over style any day. Yeah. So that'll matter more than anything. I
see you as a bulldog guy.
Nah.
Not a French bulldog.
They are. No, I know. And they're so moody, man. I have never met a bulldog who doesn't get like whiny and fucking pissed.
They got a lot of personality.
It's just every day. They're either being fed or they're like moping.
Farting. Yeah.
This dog, this border collie, Olivia, I'm just going to refer to as Olivia from now on. Okay, so all the dogs are destroying the house. They're running around, jumping on everybody. And so Julia, Sarah's sister's like, here, just give these bones or these whatever. I don't know what you call hides, raw hides. Just hand them out. They'll all chill out. And so we did that. And like everyone chilled out. Like I gave one to Olivia and she took it and like went back into her cage and was doing it there. Like not trying to fight with other dogs or like just, she's like, I got my space. I'm good.
I got my bones.
It's almost like a cat.
I'm chilling.
Like a cat dog.
Yeah. So that's right. You guys had cats. You liked cats. You liked your cats. You had Kitty.
Kitty was the only cat we had then, but my mom has since fostered and a bunch of senior cats.
That's nice.
Senior rescue cats that have all, they've,
big heart though. It takes a big heart to do that.
Some of them were so bad. None of them were good. Yeah. None of them were good. They like bite and shit. I don't know why she did it. They're like going to the doctor.
She loves them
because getting bit by a fucking cat. Yeah, it was good, but I think the last one recently passed away, and I think that's it for them.
Pushed her over the edge.
She said, like, well, what are we gonna do?
But you've got the right plan. Like, go to the breeder, lay eyes on the dog, find the one that fits your disposition. Right? Some people want like hyperactive dogs that want to play, and like, is this going to be like you want to be outdoors with this dog and active and running and hiking and jumping?
Sure.
And then border collie is good. But if this dog is going to really be in the house a lot, I would highly, highly recommend looking into breeds that are okay with that, because it wasn't a border collie, it was a retriever, a golden retriever, which a lot of people buy. And it's in their DNA to retrieve. And so this dog was constantly bringing them a tennis ball, and there was no limit to the amount of times you could throw it and it would bring it back. And the owners just broke their hearts because they can't keep up with that insane amount of fetching, but the dog like fucking needs it, like a junkie needing its next fix. So find the breed that fits your lifestyle, where you're going to be and where, what you're going to be doing. And then, or find like the handful of breeds and then like, within them, find the one in the pack.
We had neighbors in college within these shitty townhomes, small, and our next door neighbor had a mastiff,
Jesus, see,
fucking 200-pound dog, and like, how can you keep that dog in here? And like, it actually is a good house dog. It has like no energy.
yeah.
So they lumber around to go to the bathroom, but you don't take it on long walks. You don't like sprint with it. It doesn't fetch.
Well,
But
you
it's
guys
also
have
like,
you could let the dog out and it wouldn't. You're fenced in your back, right?
yeah, we can. So if it's raining or something, the problem is
massive.
It's nice. The issue is
I wouldn't buy a dog
no.
without that. I wouldn't buy a dog
Yeah.
unless I could open the door and let it out.
My friend Alex has the same opinion. He's like, I don't want to take the dog out when it's raining, and if I can just let it out
3-4 times a day, and it's the only time the dog gets to run around, like it's not fair. And you've got enough. Can they get to the front while still fenced in? Or you could just do an invisible fence, though.
I wouldn't trust that.
It works.
One, not only because
we had a couple. We had them at both houses.
Yeah, we had them in Upper St. Clair, and it's not perfect. Maybe it's gotten better, but also like I don't want someone. There's so many people who walk around, and I don't want someone like walking in front of my house thinking that a dog is off the leash in there and like be afraid to.
Got you.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
There's just the backyard's fine. It's not big, so there's no like running around. The running around is going to occur when you take it on walks.
Well, but it can run around the backyard. Like it can run fence, and dogs love doing that shit. Like it can be outside and like get some strides. It's a big difference, man.
Even just be outside. I get it.
Yeah, like that's a big deal.
I get it.
It's huge.
We'll see. The one thing, and then I gotta go. Yeah. So Sarah goes on these walks, and she was walking down one of the streets. She kind of does the same route every day, and it's usually early in the morning. And in the summertime, it's still, can be kind of cool in the mornings. So she walks past his house, and she hears this hello, and she's like looking around, doesn't see anything, doesn't think much of it. And then the next day walks past his house again. Hello. She realizes there is a macaw.
No way.
You know what a macaw is? In a window in this house. And they, in the morning, pull the window up and just have the screen. And this fucking bird says hello and goodbye to everyone who walks by.
That's awesome.
She got audio of it. It was tough to get the video. Hello. Bye-bye.
They sound like the member in Home Alone when Macaulay Culkin like used the voice, the talk boy. That's what they sound like. They sound like early 90s recordings of voices. It's funny.
They're like little samplers.
Yeah, exactly.
They are awesome. I don't know and it's loud. I mean, this bird is yelling across the street and it's picking it up on her phone when she records it. But she's like, I need to walk past this house every day. I love fucking talking to this bird. A talking bird is the coolest.
Awesome. I saw a TikTok video of a bird that was rescued or abandoned. It was in a bad home. And you should hear what that bird had to say.
Yeah, I know.
I'm serious. It was like, you fucking bitch, get out of this house. I'll kill you.
And then they had a like list of 200 people waiting to adopt it. We had birds when we were in Lanai at the Four Seasons on our honeymoon. They had 2 big bird cages on either side of like the lobby. It's everything's outside, so it's kind of like a walkway to where the rooms are. And they had a couple macaws in there and like a cockatoo.
Cages or just hanging out?
Yeah, but like big cage. They were almost like small zoo exhibits. I mean, they were big. People were walking around in there. It wasn't just like a bird cage.
Yeah, I got you. It's Four Seasons, man.
They seem pretty happy.
They know what they're doing.
Yeah. And Kyo was this blue macaw. That was its name. And it would talk. It would like it'd be cool. And we came back from dinner one night and there's like a grass skirt at the top of the cage. They'd go up there and they'd sleep because it was darker. And I was walking back. I'm like, Kyo, you in there? And he climbed down, he climbed down the cage and got to like my eye level. And he goes, "Sup?" I was like, I will never forget this.
That's one of those moments where you're just like, I wish everybody I knew was here to see this, because I'm never going to be able to. Like, that's awesome. Kio is a cool name too. I really regret not going to Hawaii for our honeymoon. We spent Hawaii money, but I really wish. Yeah, good choice. I would have loved to have had a conversation with Kio.
I know. It was a life-changing moment. All right, let's do Thursday. We'll just say, I think the game starts at 8:15. We want to just do 8.
Assuming, let me just look at the schedule. Team event Thursday night. So yeah, I should be. I'm assuming we'll be done with QBRs by then. I hope so.
If you're not, whatever, just let me know.
Yeah, but because I really like doing those games. We can talk all about how. So on a Thursday night game, so they're off today. Then they have one practice, and then
Tuesday's the league off day every week.
But this is so Tomlin does his press conference today instead of Tuesday because it's a short week. The team is off. They practice once on Tuesday, walk through on Wednesday. It's just such a dumb, bad idea. It's so bad. Peyton Wilson, who made that interception, said that all week Tomlin had him practicing for that exact route. Tomlin told him, like, the game might come down to this running back, 43, I don't know his name, running out of the backfield and running this route, and you're going to have to cover him. How fucking cool is that?
Man, I love Tomlin as a coach. I just think awesome. He's so good. And yeah, that is a level of football knowledge that it's one of the rare instances where you're like, oh, okay.
But there's a lot of coaches who could have the knowledge that couldn't get a rookie ready for it,
Right.
Like to get him in the mindset, to get him excited and feel ownership over that moment of the game, and to even be aware of it. He's got a linebackers coach. He's got a secondary coach. That's coaches are like, he's the CEO. He's got to be in every meeting at the same time. And I don't know. It's pretty cool. Anyway, I know
he's one of the few. Yeah, and I've said this before, but he's one of the few professional football coaches that I could not see coaching a college or high school fucking football team. He just would not resonate with people who are not
professionals,
actual adults doing this for money. Like it feels like he gets that aspect of it more than everyone. Just like the love of the game.
Yeah.
Your teammates. Like, no, dude, these guys are all getting paid. So how do I like connect with them on that?
They're
right, anyway.
Each company's in themselves. They're each brands.
That's right.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, brother.
All right. Thursday, we'll figure it out. Good luck tomorrow.
Right. Thanks, buddy.
Later.